What is it?
Senator, do you have a second?
Sure.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I think we're ready to begin. I want to thank everybody that is here today. We're here at Uplift Solutions for our Driving Hunger, for the kickoff of our Driving Hunger Way during Ramadan. As you know, during every day of Ramadan, my office, in collaboration with lots of partners that we're going to hear from today, we feed people each and every day during the month of Ramadan. This is not a new thing. We've been doing this for a number of years. I believe this is year number year number 6. I think we will feed approximately 7,600 people this year. Before we go too deep in the program, I want to bring up Atif Basic to welcome us to Uplift Solutions.
Thank you. Good morning. All right. So it's great to have and welcome everyone here this morning. Senator Street, it's great to have you in the building as well as others that are joining us today. I'm not going to be long, but I wanted to take a moment and welcome you to Uplift Solutions. Really quickly, Uplift Solutions is a nonprofit organization that's headquartered here in Philadelphia that removes barriers for justice-involved individuals and at-risk youth. And our goal in this program, in this opportunity, is to remove all kinds of barriers. We are the hosts and proud hosts of the Division of Reentry, I want to make sure I get the name right, Neighborhood Resource Center here. And through that partnership, we open our doors to everyone in the community. We've really become a community hub to support this entire community, and we look forward to supporting initiatives like this. It's great to see and be part of an initiative like this with a longtime friend, Lori Brown, and thank you for being here and leading this initiative alongside Senator Street. Again, our space is your space. Thank you for being here. We look forward to being a partner, and thank you for allowing us to host you this morning. All right.
I think we're now going to hear from Lori from Philabundance. Lori Brown, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Lori Jones-Brown, the proud CEO of Philabundance, but more importantly, really a proud partner of Senator Street. Senator Street, 6 years ago now, I can't believe 6 years ago, in the midst of the pandemic, we were all still wearing masks, came to us and really did a cultural education. He informed us that when people are celebrating Ramadan, if they for some reason cannot fast because of a health reason or a pandemic, that one of the ways they can honor that is by giving to others. And actually, one of the things I learned just this past couple of months ago, a member of my family who's Muslim, his wife who recently passed, before she passed, she was so sickly that she could not fast. And so he, as it turns out, donated to Philabundance during Ramadan for that very reason. And so it was really in the spirit of that the senator approached us to see if we could partner to distribute food to people who are experiencing food insecurity throughout Ramadan. So just so you guys know, it is for everybody people who are food insecure during this time. It's not simply reserved for people who are of the Muslim faith. It really is just a way to honor Ramadan and the tenets of Islam. And so, Senator Street, thank you first and foremost for educating us. Thank you for reminding us how diverse our culture is and our community is. And thank you so much for bringing this really rich tradition to Philadelphia. Through our partnership this year, we will be able to distribute 7,600 delicious meals across this city. And later today, you'll be able to have a chance to taste that. Our catering chef, Chef Julia, is in the back. You guys, it smells pretty good in here, right? It smells amazing in here. Because we at Philabundance are committed to driving hunger from our communities today and working to end it for good. And for us, we're committed to providing people with nutritious and delicious food that really reflects their culture. And that's what you'll see in these 7,600 meals that we're distributing. I will ask you to join me in thanking Chef Julia and the incredible team at Philabundance. So the folks at Philabundance who are here, Kim, John, Sammy, Avi, Zoe, Beth, Maria, Miss Dorothy, everyone's here. Thank you so much for the great work you do all year round, but especially during the month of Ramadan. I want to take a moment to talk about the need in this moment. You know, because we're all community folks, we know that in the last several years we've seen the need go up. We saw it especially go up last year, and we saw in addition to the need going up, we saw angst and anxiety and worry going up with the government shutdown. We see, and we'll continue to see that with the changes, federal policy changes that are going to affect SNAP or food stamps. And so we're anticipating thousands of people in our region no longer being able to benefit from that government support. And so we know as a result there'll be even more people in our community that are food insecure. So I hope that during this month of Ramadan, that in addition to kind of honoring Ramadan, in addition to providing these 7,600 meals, that we remember that we need to do some work at every level to ensure that basic needs like food are provided for our neighbors. I do want to take a moment to thank, and I know we'll hear from government officials, even though she's not here, I have to thank Mayor Sherelle Parker, her team and her leadership, particularly during the government SNAP crisis and the SNAP lapse. They developed a very comprehensive program that touched inside of government and outside of government. Among the things that they did was they provided a couple $1 million to community groups across the region, so they could, across the cities, they could provide food to folks. But for Philabundance, they provided $1 million that enabled us to purchase additional food. We'll clap there. That provided us with the funds to provide emergency food response. We're able to increase by 25% over 3 months the food that we provided out to our neighbors just in Philadelphia because of that support. So we're really grateful to the city, to the mayor for her partnership and for all the departments that really rallied at that moment. So again, just want to say thank you so much to Senator Street. Thank you. It's great when our government officials really partner with us to ensure that we meet the needs of neighbors in our community. And we're so grateful to be in our 6th year of partnering with you on this. So thank you so much, Senator Street.
Thank you. So, look, we have a lot of partnerships to make this happen. This program has grown and grown and grown. I do want to acknowledge and shout out my wife, April, who did a lot of work in planning the event this year. Baby, we appreciate you. We love you. But next, we're going to hear from the Director of Reentry Partnerships, Director Asada Thomas. Director Thomas, come on up.
Good morning. I have to have notes because I'll be rambling on and on and on. So I like to have my notes. So thank you, Senator Street. Always a pleasure to partner with you. And I'm honored to, again, co-sponsor the Driving Hunger Away during Ramadan at our Hunting Park Neighborhood Resource Center. This initiative delivers, as Lori said, 7,600 meals over a 30-day period to Philadelphia residents facing food insecurity. That's heavy. That's heavy because we can't support persons if we're not dealing with the most basic need. Hosting this kickoff at the NRC is intentional. The NRC is a trusted neighborhood-based access point for residents navigating reentry, housing instability, workforce transitions, and family recovery. Launching this effort here connects food access directly to broader support systems that help residents stabilize, rebuild, and move forward. Ensuring that food distribution sites are accessible and community-centered is essential. By utilizing playgrounds, community centers, and places of worship, we are reducing barriers and bringing resources directly into neighborhoods where people live. I want to thank Phil Abundance and Lori, and most importantly, Sharif Street, Senator Sharif Street. This is Senator Street's signature Ramadan food drive. His leadership, and if y'all know him, you understand that his leadership is both authentic, genuine, and rooted in community. Deep commitment to addressing hunger as a justice and equity issue, and to ensuring families who are often overlooked have consistent access to food and stability. Food insecurity remains a serious and growing challenge among Philadelphia, and is even more pronounced for justice-impacted residents and individuals returning home. For many families, food access is directly connected to successful reentry, employment readiness, and long-term stability. With recent changes and continued challenges impacting SNAP benefits, programs like this are more crucial than ever in helping families navigate periods of transition and uncertainty. I also want to thank, of course, our illustrious Mayor Sherelle Parker for making food access a clear priority for this administration through tools such as the city's food locator and a renewed focus on neighborhood-based access points. Her leadership reinforces that food security is fundamental to public safety, family stability, and community well-being. Finally, I want to thank Atif Bostic, our chief partner of the Hunting Park Neighborhood Resource Center. It is through our collaboration with Atif that we are able to hold this kickoff at the NRC and continue to anchor other resources in a place where residents already have trust and connection. And lastly, Adam Gare, the city's chief public safety director, for his continued support and leadership in advancing the understanding that reentry is a core component of public safety. Reentry is often left out of the discourse of public safety, but we understand that reentry is a core component of public safety, and persons who are supported and not recidivizing is indeed part of public safety. So thank you again, Senator Street, for the opportunity, Lori, and we look forward to continued partnerships. Thank you.
Look, and I do want to say one word about reentry. Look, I want to thank Director Thomas for understanding that reentry, that when you're going to deal with reentry, you have to deal with the whole person. Right. You know, we've had so many people to look at reentry as just, stopping a person. They look at the very last point. Well, we're going to make sure somebody doesn't pick up a gun or doesn't rob a store, and not understanding that people don't just wake up in the morning and say, I want to rob a store. It's a lot of stuff that happens before you get to that point. And if you can stop it way further upstream, before people are so hungry. You know, in the hood, when they talk about people it being dangerous in the neighborhood, the code is people getting hungry out there. That's literally the language that people use. People are getting hungry out there. And they know because hungry people do things. And so it is both figurative, but it is literal. And so I thank you for understanding that. And understanding that for reentry, we're going to deal with the whole person. I want to, before I forget, I want to acknowledge my staff. I see Yasmina Richardson, who worked on putting this together. I want to acknowledge her mother, Aisha Richardson, who's dealing with some medical stuff, and we want to tell her out there you're in our prayers. I want to acknowledge Kasib Carter on my staff, Damon, and anybody else on staff in here? Tony. Tony's on staff here. And of course, I want to acknowledge my former staffer and forever little brother, Desmond McKinson. Shout out to Desmond, who now works with Sister Asada and the work that she's doing with the mayor. And then beyond that, I want to acknowledge my oldest child, Arian, who's here. Thank you for the work. It's a family affair for us. And so with no further ado, moving right along in the program. I'm old. Put my glasses on. What you get? Oh, I'm going to bring up the Honorable Reverend Willie Singletary.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. I'm like Director Thomas. I need notes because as a preacher, I can talk and talk and talk. So we're grateful to be here today with Senator Street and this great initiative. On behalf of Mayor Sherella Parker, I want to thank everyone gathered here today at the Office of Reentry Partnerships, Neighborhood Resource Center, and Uplift Solutions. This is a place of hope, restoration, and second chances. And there is no better place to launch an initiative rooted in compassion, dignity, and collective responsibility. There's a quote from Helen Keller that Mayor Parker often embraces in spirit: "Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much." That quote captures exactly what we are here, why we're here today. Hunger is not just a personal challenge, it's a public issue. And it cannot be solved by one office, one agency, and one organization alone. It requires intergovernmental collaboration, nonprofit leadership, faith institutions, and community partners working together with urgency and purpose. Malcolm X once said, "The future belongs to those who prepare for it today." Preparation means ensuring our people have what they need to survive today so they can thrive tomorrow. Today, Senator Street, you proudly announced the 6th annual Driving Hunger Away during Ramadan initiative. That's 30 days of food distribution efforts that feed 7,600 Philadelphians, serving at least 200 people every day from February 18th through March 19th. This is not symbolic. That is tangible support for families who need it the most. Ramadan is a sacred season of reflection, sacrifice, and generosity and service. Its values align deeply with the works. The Quran reminds us powerfully in the Surah Al-Insan 76, "And they give food in spite of love for it to the needy, the orphans, and the captives." That verse is not just spiritual guidance, it's a call to action. And today, the call is being answered right here in Philadelphia. The need is real. According to reports, more than 485,000 Philadelphia residents have experienced reduction in food assistance since the pandemic era. SNAP extensions expired in 2023. Nationally, families are losing an average of $80 per person per month in benefits, adding rising costs, inflation, and SNAP skimming, and the result is clear. Food insecurity has deepened in our city. Dr. King reminds us of all the forms of inequality. Injustice is health. Health is the most shocking and inhumane. Food insecurity is a health issue. It affects our children's ability to learn, our elders' ability to thrive, and our community's ability to remain strong. Mayor Parker has been laser focused because she believes that the government must meet people where they are, and that is exactly what this initiative represents. I must affirm that this moment reflects the power of true collaboration. State Senators leadership through Senator Sharif Street, city leadership across reentry with Director Thomas and Adam Gear and Dr. Kaiser, and Muslim engagement, nonprofit excellence led by Phil Abundance and CEO Lori Jones Brown, community-rooted leadership through Uplift Solutions, and trusted voices like Dr. Kaiser Dula, ensuring culture and faith-based alignment. This is not a silo government. This government is in partnership. Mayor Parker ran on promise to make Philadelphia safer, cleaner, greener, but also more compassionate and more coordinated. She understands that hunger affects educational outcomes, workforce participation, health equality, and public safety. You cannot build a thriving city when families are choosing between groceries and rent or food and medicine. That is why this administration believes that wraparound solutions that honor dignity, sustain families, and strengthen communities. As I close, let me be clear. Hunger is not partisan. Compassion is not optional. And collaboration is not negotiable. When government, nonprofit, faith communities come together with a sharp purpose, we do more than distribute meals. We restore dignity, stability, and hope. Mayor Parker asked me to say this directly to all of you today. You are seen. You are valued. And the city will not turn its back on you. As Ramadan begins, let this initiative reaffirms our shared commitment to service, unity, and justice. Let it remind us that when we work together, we can drive hunger away, not just for 30 days, but for a long term. And on behalf of Mayor Sherelle L. Parker, thank you to every partner, every volunteer, every leader who made this possible. Together, we're not just feeding people, we're strengthening Philadelphia. And if she was here, she would say, put your ones up. And repeat up and say, one Philly, a united city. One America. A united nation.
Amen. And since we've heard the sermon, if offerings can be given by making donations to Phil Abundance. If you go online, you can. Amen. So I want to thank Reverend Singletary and the mayor. Mayor has been a partner. She's been a supporter of this at each and every step of the way. I will add that before Sherelle Parker was mayor of Philadelphia, she was supportive when she was a member of council. She is my friend, and I appreciate her support and partnership in this endeavor. And Mayor has also been intentional about making sure that all communities have a voice. And one of the things that she did that is unlike what many people have done before her is she created an Office of Muslim Engagement, recognizing that there are that the Muslim population is a growing population, and recognizing that being intentional about making sure that there's inclusivity in government is a hallmark of effective delivery of service and advocacy for each and every citizen. And so with that, I am pleased and proud to bring up Imam Kaiser Abdullah, the Director of Muslim Engagement for the City of Philadelphia.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I don't know what's left for me to say since Reverend Willie quoted the Quran and Malcolm X and everything else. So I'm going to try my best to move this forward. I want to begin by thanking Senator Sherry Street. Senator, you have been consistent and deliberate in the work that you do to dispel and remove hunger from the city of Philadelphia and all of the other ways in which the residents of Philadelphia and the surrounding communities have struggled to meet their full person. So thank you for all of the work that you continue to do in this space. This program exists because of your leadership, not just today, but for 6 years and counting, right? And we know that whatever comes next, we are going to continue to have driving hunger away in Ramadan, right, Senator? Yes, sir. Okay, all right. His consistency in showing up around hunger, dignity, and access has shaped his work, and it deserves to be named in this moment. I also want to thank the Office of Public Safety under the leadership of Adam Gear, the Division of Re-Entry under Director Asada Thomas, Phil Abundance under Laurie Brown, and all of our partners. I'm honored to be here on behalf of the Mayor's Office of Muslim Engagement. I want to ground my remarks and then close with a blessing in a chapter from the Quran. And this chapter is actually titled Neighborly Needs. So when Laurie Brown mentioned this idea of caring for your neighbor, it really resonated with me. And in the interest of time, I'm going to skip the Arabic and just go right to the English of it. And this is 107, chapter 107 of the Quran. And it starts off by God actually talking to his creation. He says, have you seen the one who denies, and this is what he calls it, moral responsibility. Have you seen the one who denies the moral responsibility? It is the one who pushes away the orphan and who does not encourage the feeding of the poor. So the one who denies moral responsibility pushes away the orphan and doesn't encourage the feeding of the poor. So bad tidings, so woe unto those who they pray, but they only do it for others to see them, who perform the acts only to be seen by others. And it closes with this pretty powerful statement that will wrap this up. And withhold even the smallest acts of care. What we are doing here today in this center is all about caring for the least fortunate. It's all about caring for anyone in the Philadelphia community who is in need, because you've heard it many times today from this podium, that food insecurity is just one of the many ways in which folks who are struggling and navigating this system have to deal with in order to find their full personhood in this system. And many things rely on making sure that food insecurity is addressed. So this chapter reminds us that values are not proven by language, titles, or moments of action, but by consistency, by whether this care is sustained and whether people are fed, and whether dignity is protected by those who are charged with protecting that dignity. As Ramadan approaches, Muslims will fast, but Ramadan is ultimately about a spiritual connection and spiritual refinement. It refines awareness, disciplines the ego, and sharpens responsibility towards one another. Hunger is not the goal, moral clarity is. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that he is not a believer, he does not believe in the teachings if he goes to bed with his stomach filled and his neighbor is hungry. This is a core tenet of our tradition. The teaching calls for steady commitment, not just simply symbolic concern. That is why driving hunger away during Ramadan matters. Food is not just about nourishment, it is stability. It is belonging. And for those navigating re-entry, consistent access can be the difference between isolation and return. If you allow me, I want to offer a blessing as we close this. In the name of the most gracious, the most compassionate, the most merciful God, oh God, we thank you for the opportunity to gather with purpose and with care. Bless this food and all those who made it possible, from those who planned it and prepared it to those who will receive it and distribute it. Bless the leadership and the partners who have remained consistent in this work, returning again and again to the needs of the community. Let their efforts be sustained, their intentions be clear, and their service be a source of lasting good. For those who will be nourished through this program, grant them strength, dignity, and ease. For those navigating re-entry and rebuilding their lives, open the doors, dear God, of stability, belonging, and mostly of hope. As we enter this season of fasting and reflection, refine our hearts, sharpen our sense of responsibility, and increase us in our mercy towards one another. Bless the city, dear God, its people, and all those who serve it. And allow what begins here to grow beyond today, touching the lives in ways we may yet to see. And let everyone say, amen.
So, absolutely. So thank you, Brother Imam. So we're going to move to a tasting in a moment, but I just want to say this. During the midst of the pandemic, we found that there were people that were hurting in so many ways. Yes, people were scared because they didn't know how they were going to get whatever medicine that was needed to make them better. But people also, when they were locked in their homes, we found that gig workers, people who had neighborhood hustles, and I'm not talking about illegal stuff, but if you sold pretzels on the street, my father started out a pretzel vendor. This is real because I know people like that. There was no one walking the street and you couldn't make any money, and they didn't know how they're going to feed their families. There were people who sold T-shirts with tables. We see them all the time. The people that feed their family that way. No one walking the streets. They didn't know how they were going to feed themselves. And then surely into the midst of the pandemic, Ramadan came. And in the lead up to it, all of us who were Muslims, there were literally meetings of imams talking about what are we going to do? Because some people said you got to fast anyway. Trust God. Other people said no, you don't have to fast during a plague because you don't want to weaken your immune system. And so people said, by and large, people said, well, you know, there's a provision that clearly says if you can't fast, we will feed people. And so literally thousands and thousands of people in an effort to observe the faith started to feed people, and I was one of them. And of course, with me, I got to scale everything up, and since a bunch of my folks were staff, we ended up having whole tables and trucks of food we were giving away, but it was all random. And we gave it out. And then at the end of that, we continued some of that. And then we said, you know what? People really needed this. And it highlighted just the fact that some of these folks were hungry all the time. And so I said, let's do this in a way that is sustainable, that makes sense, that we know where the food is going, that meals are prepared, they're culturally competent. And then I said, this is complicated. And so I called upon Lori. And I said, we're going to try to feed 100 people a day. And she said, well, we'll match your efforts and we'll make it 2. And it's grown there until it's beyond that. I want you to understand that sometimes out of something bad can come something good. And so today, yes, we will begin the month of Ramadan, and during Ramadan, we feed people. During Thanksgiving, we give out thousands of turkeys. It was like 4,000 or 5,000 turkeys this year. During Christmas, we give away toys because I come from a place in North Philly where I still live, that each and every day I watch people struggling just to get through the day. And I've been privileged to be a member of the Senate, and I've been privileged to have these responsibilities. And all of us who are in these stations, we've realized, are doing better than somebody else. And so this is an occasion, and I will fast from sun up to sundown during the month of Ramadan. But we will also feed people. And we don't just feed Muslims, we feed anyone that needs the food. And we don't just go to Muslim sites, we go to wherever we think the need is greatest. And so I want to thank everyone who will participate. And if people want to volunteer, like Miss Vivian, our super volunteer, and so many others, you can call the office to join. And if you want to volunteer throughout the year doing things like this, we have our programs, but Phil Abundance does this each and every day. That's what they do. And as Lori pointed out, because of some of the federal cuts, because the need grows, any support you can provide to Phil Abundance is truly appreciated, both in terms of your man hours and in terms of your money. And so thank you, and we're going to embark upon this program. But before we go any further, we're going to taste some of the food. So I'm going to bring Lori up to talk to us about how this tasting is going to go. And April Street, why don't you join us up so we can go taste the food together?
So Chef Julie is going to help me with this. As we said, 7,600 meals over the course of the month of Ramadan. Every day at every site there will be a vegetarian option. There'll be a vegetable curry and rice pilaf option. And then also on every day there will be a protein option. And so I'm going to let you walk through that and tell us what we have here today, Chef.
Perfect. Thank you all so much. Really, really honored to be here today and share with you the meals that we have put together. This year for us, there was a focus on intentionality, right? That's always the goal in mind, but in this case, definitely wanting to be culturally conscious and add some variety into the mix. So we're really excited to roll out 2 new dishes that we will be serving, and we have a couple examples of those over on the table. But we have a beef kibbeh style meatball that's going to be served with a kind of a spiced brown lentils and a sumac yogurt sauce. And then in addition to that, it's going to be a green herb roasted chicken with potatoes and in addition to that same green sauce on top. So you guys will try, if you so desire, hopefully you will, a couple samples of those 2 new dishes, because in the past we've kind of focused on the curries and we know we've nailed those, so it's time to roll out some new flavors for y'all. So perfect, thank you so much.
That's right.